I sat there, across from her parents, feeling the weight of a life they didn't know I owned. The envelope slid across the table like a trapdoor waiting to snap. My wife smiled, radiant and innocent. I did not. The restaurant was dim, the kind of dim that hides intentions as easily as it hides dust. Candlelight flickered against the polished oak. I watched her father's hands tremble, not from age, not from wine, but from the satisfaction of thinking he had measured me, judged me, and found me lacking. Her mother's gaze was sharp, predatory, the kind that sizes up a man in seconds and decides whether he's worth the table. I sipped my water, letting the tension build like a storm behind glass. I remembered the first time I met them. I was poor in their eyes, naive in their judgments. They had laughed at the simplicity of my life, modest apartment, second-hand car, quiet habits. My wife had loved me for them, or so I thought. I had wanted her heart, not her inheritance, but as the years passed I realized the inheritance had been the weapon all along. I looked down at the envelope again, thick, cream-colored, official-looking. My wife had no idea what it contained, but I did. I had always been the anonymous investor, the quiet force in her father's empire, $10 billion worth of shares held in shadows. Every move I made in the market, every silent nod to opportunity had been a calculated step toward this moment. Flashbacks hit like shards of glass. I remembered her father's first thinly veiled insult, the way he praised other men at our wedding with veiled contempt, her mother's dismissive smirk whenever I suggested a small investment or a modest lifestyle improvement. I had tolerated it all, studied it all. Each insult, each sneer, each calculating glance was a brick in the foundation of my plan. The envelope was open now. Inside, a proposal for me to invest modestly, a subtle condescension wrapped in feigned generosity. I smiled, calm, cold. Modest, they said, thinking they had the measure of me, but I had measured them. Every decision, every loan, every market maneuver had been part of a silent siege. Their empire had grown fat and complacent, blind to the hands that fed it. I had not revealed myself, not even to my wife. She believed she knew the man she married, the simple life we led. But I was everywhere, in every subsidiary, every boardroom, every ledger they overlooked. And now the time had come. I watched her father lean back, puffing up with the illusion of control. I said nothing. Silence is the loudest scream when wielded correctly. Her mother's eyes flicked to me, searching for a clue, a hesitation. There was none. Weeks later, when their empire began to falter under the weight of sudden, mysterious sell-offs, they called me. Panic laced their voices. Every asset I controlled quietly shifted, siphoning power away while appearing accidental. They could not trace the hands behind the movement. Their pride, their arrogance, had become a weapon against them. I had sent anonymous notes, cryptic and precise, highlighting errors only an insider could know. Panic turned to desperation. I watched them unravel in board meetings, in private whispers, in forced smiles that no longer reached their eyes. My wife remained oblivious, her trust in me unshaken. That ignorance was part of the beauty, a living contradiction between perception and reality. Her father confronted me eventually, his pride bleeding through the phone line. "Who are you? What is this?" he demanded. I allowed a small smile. "I told you, I'm a simple man, just like you always measured me to be." Every public report, every financial statement, every interview they gave was a testament to their downfall, calculated, quiet, inexorable. Their empire collapsed like a castle built on sand. Their wealth dissipated, their influence vanished, and all the while I remained the husband they had underestimated, the man living simply, the man who had been everywhere but invisible. The finality was quiet, no explosions, no screaming, just a subtle, irrevocable shift. Their world had crumbled, and I was the silent architect. My wife never saw it coming. She still loved me, perhaps more than ever now that her parents' arrogance had no shadow over our life. I have often wondered what justice looks like. To me, it is not noise. It is not revenge for spectacle. It is precision. It is the slow collapse of arrogance built on the belief that wealth defines superiority. And as I sit here, remembering the envelope, the tremble of her father's hands, the calculated smiles, I feel nothing but satisfaction. I never told her. I never will. Some truths are too sharp, too dangerous, too beautiful in their silence. And the envelope? I never returned it.